Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel all about BI. So this is my Azure Data Factory playlist, okay, wherein you can find videos about mapping data flow from session number 30. Okay, before we proceed with other transformation tasks in mapping data flow, one of my subscribers has asked me how to do exception handling in Azure Data Factory. So I thought it would be helpful for many, so I'm going to cover that in today's session. Okay. Alright, so I have a pipeline like this. Okay, it might have various activities. All your pipelines will have at least 3 to 4 activities, right? Similarly, I have one pivot data flow, and pivot data flow, and get metadata activity. So if I want to handle exception or errors in any of these tasks or activities, right, how do I do it in Azure Data Factory? That is what I'm going to show you today. Okay, before you can add error handling in Azure Data Factory, I would like to cover how did we do it in SSIS. Okay, for those who are familiar with SSIS, right, exception handling happens through either event handlers. Handlers in the sense of we can capture different events like on error, on warning, etc. Right. So this we can do in SSIS. Also, precedence constraints. So after capturing the errors, you can either send mail or log your errors in text files or any other file. Okay, this is how we can capture error and handle errors in SSIS. Okay, so with respect to Azure Data Factory, what we can do, we have something like precedence constraint here as well. Okay, they call it activity dependency. Okay, so activity dependency is quite similar to precedence constraint. We have success criteria, we have failure criteria, and then completion. All these three statuses, right, we know if we are familiar with SSIS. Okay, in addition to success, failure, or completion, right, we have something called skipped here. Okay, this is additional. I'll show you in Azure Data Factory pipeline, but just understand that we have 4 types of statuses. Okay, for each activity we can have either success or failure or completion or skipped status. Okay, so how to add precedence constraint or activity dependency in activities in a pipeline? Okay, click on activities and then you will find a plus sign here. Click on that, so you will see 4 statuses. Okay, success, failure, completion, and skipped. Skipped is nothing but there are instances when one of the activities might be skipped, okay, based on some conditions that we are mentioning. For example, you can have a conditional split or an if condition implemented in a pipeline that may skip 1 or 2 activities. Okay, so if you want to handle such scenarios, you can add activities in skipped status. Okay, if you want to handle errors, right, then you have to choose this failure, so that in addition to this green box, right, you will see this red also. So all other activities by default will only have this green connector. Okay, so once you click this plus sign in all the activities, you will also get a red color symbol or a box. Okay, so this is the first step in handling errors. Okay, what next? In SSIS, right, you have all the errors present in a variable called error description. Okay, error description is a system variable which holds all the errors or warnings happening in the package, SSIS package. Okay, like that, what do we have it in Azure Data Factory? We have something called error property for all the activities, right? For all the activities, you have something called error property which has a sub property called message. So using this one, we can get the error that has happened to that particular activity. Okay, so I'm going to show you how do we implement it. Okay, just understand that we have something called error.message. Okay, so we have to write some expression. Okay, alright, so we have added a failure flow. What next? In SSIS, okay, I told we have precedence constraint. Based on that, we can add error handling. Okay, in precedence constraint, if you see, right, you have something called and or constraint, or and. Okay, so what it does is, assume you have 3 tasks in SSIS like this. and you're going to add error handling for all these three tasks. What you will be doing is you will have a subtask here to handle error or read the error or write it to log file, something like that. For example, if you're going to write a script task, right, how it will be is you will have a script task here, you will connect all the red lines to that script task, okay, and then you will set the precedence constraint to or. Okay, when you have it in unconditioned, right, what will happen is that script task which handles the error, right, it will get executed only when all the three tasks fail. Okay, this should fail and this should fail and this should fail, then only that script task will run. So what we'll do most of the times is we'll choose the precedence constraint to be or. Okay, so which means that either of these tasks, if it gets failed, that particular script task will get activated or it will be executed. Okay, but here in Azure Data Factory you don't have this facility right now. They might be adding it in the future. Okay, so what happens is if you add a task here to read the variable, right, or to read the error, right, then if there is only one task and you connect all the red tasks to that, for example, I have a set variable activity. What I am going to do is I am going to set the error message in a variable called error details, and I have mentioned it to be string. So this is the variable that is going to hold my error details or text message of the error. Okay, so I'm going to set value to this variable using set variable activity. So if you want to learn more about set variable activity, right, please go through my playlist wherein we have covered this append or set act in session number 16. Okay, so coming back. Okay, what I told you was we are going to connect this red connector to the set variable. This is how we do it in SSIS. Okay, we'll connect the red dots to the activity which is capturing the error, and then we will set the precedence constraints to or. Okay, but here there is no property for the activity dependency. Okay, there is only status is given here. We can't write expression or we can't do anything else. So when you do like this, right, only if all the three activities fail, this set variable is going to get executed or it is going to set the value for the variable. Ultimately it can't happen. Okay, now all the three tasks we will not want to execute any task if one task fails in the pipeline. Okay, so how to handle this in Azure Data Factory? Okay, one simple workaround is have a set variable activity for all the three tasks. Okay, so in the sense, if you have three tasks or activities, there will be three set variables. For example, for capturing errors in pivot transformation, you will have one set activity. Similarly, for unpivot, you will have another set activity. Similarly, for get metadata. Okay, this indeed is very difficult to manage if you have multiple activities. Okay, but we don't have much option here. For now, you will have to go with this option only. Okay, so you will connect this and then similarly you will copy paste it. All the three tasks are going to do the same thing, but we have to have it 3 times. Okay, this is one way you can handle errors with respect to each activity. Okay, so what next? Is there any other option we can handle error? There is no other way we can handle error, but how to communicate it to the end users, okay, or IT support people. So generally when an error happens, we have to intimate it to the concerned people. Okay, so I told you the first way we can handle error is to write it to a variable. Okay, after writing it to a variable, what we will be doing is we will be sending mail to the concerned people. So how to send mail is there is a web task available here. Okay, which this and all I will be showing in the next video. I am just trying to cover the basic concepts theoretically. Okay, so the first step that I did is we have added set variable activity to all the 3 activities individually. For this one set variable, for this another set variable, for this activity one more set variable. Okay, after adding set variable to each activity, we have to add a web task, okay, to each set variable activity. Alright, so that web task is going to send out mail to the concerned people that we are telling to mail to. Okay, we can set up or configure the from to mail IDs and all that I am going to show you in my next video, but just understand that after setting the variable value, we will be sending mail to the concerned people. Okay, alright, so how to capture the error? I told you we have some property. Okay, I am going to show you that. we can add a set variable and look at the variable value. Okay, so I want to capture error in this particular mapping data flow task. So set variable is nothing but it's going to set value for a variable. We have to choose the variable name and then we have to provide a value. So you can provide a value here like error happened in data flow, unpivot data flow, unpivot activity or something you can provide, or hard code basically. Okay, but this is not what we expect. We have to capture the actual error. We need to know, right, what error has happened. So for that, add dynamic content, and then what you have to do is you have to use that property that I told you. So we are interested in capturing unpivot mapping data flow error. So we have to choose this particular task or activity here, and then just remove output and then type error dot message. So this is going to capture the errors that has happened to the unpivot activity. Okay, so in the next session I will be showing a live demo of how this and all is going to work. Okay, so for now just understand that we have something called precedence constraint in Azure Data Factory, which is called activity dependency. Okay, we have 4 types of activity dependencies, which is nothing but success, failure, completion and skipped. Okay, and we don't have and or condition here. You need to handle individual activities error by having a different set of activities. Okay, so after reading the error you can either call a stored procedure that will insert to error table, or you can send mail using a web task. Okay. Thanks a lot for watching. If you have any doubts about this particular session, you let me know in the comment section, and if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and thank you. Keep supporting.